All right, so I'm Beck Lane, and welcome to my therapy. You guys are my therapy. Sorry to do that to you again. But I made a video yesterday, and I was very, very upset. I'm still upset, but I put it on private, and I put it on unlisted, then I put it on public, then I went and put it back on unlisted, then I put it on private, then I put it on unlisted again, and I'll probably put it on public in a little while. But I hate, I really, what I had to post yesterday is embarrassing. It's embarrassing, it's humiliating, it's degrading. The things what I'm going through, and the things we have to go through. The things that we don't have to go through, but we go through as artists. They're really, life should not be this difficult. The trope is, do the thing that makes you happy, think happy thoughts, and wonderful things will come your way. And that's the trope, and that's the thing we've fed, this toxic positivity. And if also, and along those lines, if things don't work out for you, it's because you're not a good enough person. And it drives me insane. It drives me absolutely insane. And to be honest with you, I've bought into it. I have bought into it because I watch people. We watch people all around us. They find their purpose. They think the positive thoughts. They say the positive things, and wonderful things will always happen, or usually happen, or sometimes happen. But we see that it's in our face all the time online. Be positive, be positive, be positive. And I'm so happy to find, I'm so relieved to have been introduced to the phrase toxic positivity. I'm going to turn this there. No, it's not going to stay. Anyway, toxic positivity, because it is. It's, we don't talk about, we're not supposed to talk about what's really going on. We're supposed to, it used to be fake it till you make it, which is fine. But all this, no, you just act positive and everything will be great. It's bullshit, and it hurts, and because you do end up thinking, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? This is what I go through anyway. I'm doing the stuff. I know my purpose. I show up every day. I do the work. I say yes to everything. I do the stuff. Why not me? I mean, I'm assuming that people watching this, and they've been watching all along, some of you, is you go through the same thing. I think of several artists, and I won't name them, but several artists who have been in this spot for a really long time, and they're brilliant. They're brilliant artists, and they're doing everything they can. And they're just doing everything they can, and it's like, why not me? What exactly does life want from me? Is it just to kick me around or play with me like I'm a little mouse and it's a cat and I'm a toy? I'm basically a toy that they can toss in the air, and life can toss in the air and chew on and make miserable? It's so degrading and so humiliating and so hard. So I go between public and unlisted, and deleting the videos like that, and going leaving it on a public setting, because we don't have a huge audience anymore here. There's a core group that watches this, and we've all been hanging in there together. And I wanted to make a video this morning that's kind of along the same lines. It's the same thing as yesterday, because not much has changed, and nothing has changed yet. I'm still looking at having to come up with a lot of money and just to have a place to live here in a city where literally, and I as you know, I tell stories, and people do not just empathize, but they feel the same way, and it's kind of validating. I'm in a city where there is literally millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars Millionaires and billionaires come here, and Sarasota is very proud of having a $35 million home on the water for sale. Sarasota is very proud of having a $5 million tiny condo overlooking the Gulf. Those things are constantly being pushed. But when those things were being built, 50 years ago, this is my understanding, 50 years ago, this was an art colony, artist colony. There was a lot of things, but it was an artist colony. But construction, over construction, complete lack of interest in the community from the city, as far as I can see, drove artists out. They've driven artists right out of the city over decades, and especially in the past 6-7 years I've been here. I've watched several tight communities completely disband, be completely decimated by these millionaires and billionaires, and the real estate, the construction anyway, that's driving everyone out, as well as the Black and brown community. Nobody gives a shit about the Black and brown community, by the way. It is just insane because they just keep repeating the same history. So when they drove out, this is the history of Sarasota, by the way, the most recent synopsis of it, in driving the artists out and the Black and brown community out, and everybody who wasn't white, male, and rich, or at least very comfortable, they've driven out the heart of Sarasota. And the culture that was Sarasota, cultures that were Sarasota, but they're still trying to sell it as an inclusive city and an art city. We're an art city, we're an art city. We hear it all day long. And since I got here, I've been like, what the fuck is everybody talking about? And I'm telling you this not to complain, but I'm telling you this because you're probably in the same situation, because this is happening all over. And so I'm validating. Let's look at it that way, validating. So I was thinking that, and I talked to artists who were like, I can't afford to live in this neighborhood that I've lived in for 20 years or 30 years. I can't afford to live in the neighborhood that I moved here for. My friends were all leaving. I can't be an artist here anymore. And I kept hearing it and kept hearing it. And then the voices disappeared because the artists started to disappear. Nobody online, nobody on Facebook that I talked to, or Instagram that's an artist, still kind of in the city or around the city, was talking about it. Everybody's just like, they closed their lips because the city doesn't care. And the money doesn't care. The money people do not give two shits. They've got their multi-million-dollar home on the water, their multi-million-dollar condo overlooking the Gulf. They're going out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, taking pictures of their food, and showing us their fabulous lives. And yes, I'm angry. I'm very angry, and I'm very bitter about it. And I'm disgusted. But the artists went silent because you have to stay positive. You have to show everything in the best light, or the city of Sarasota might think about kind of someday maybe rewarding you with a crumb. And this is the way Cape Cod was, by the way. It's not new to me. We might think about maybe rewarding you in some small way. You could rent a tent at an art fair where no one spends any money because it's Sarasota and it's not really an art city and nobody cares. So I've taught, but, okay, the flip side, I've talked to many artists who have moved here from out of state because it's a quote-unquote art city. And one in particular, and I won't name him here, but one in particular has gotten very, very, very vocal that this is not an art city, and I so appreciate this. When he first said it online and first started doing interviews about it, I was like, I'm not crazy. I'm not the only one. And this is what I want you to feel. You're not the only one who's seeing it. The emperor has no fucking clothes on. Sorry, I will swear. So he started talking about this isn't an art city. He moved here with money, so he was comfortable. He moved here from New York. He was comfortable. He could do things. Unlike me, I moved here and I had nothing, and now I have even less. And we just keep trying anyway. We keep working at it. Yeah, now I'm in a perilous spot in this art city. He said to me, though, he has said online, he's said in interviews, he said it at a bunch of events, this is not an art city. That is a facade. This is a performing art city. And that's, he nailed it. I couldn't figure it out, but he nailed it. It's a performing art city. That is where all the money goes. There was a documentary made about Sarasota actually recently, and I know some people that are in it. I'm friends with them. And they kind of hit on the issues several times, these financial issues and the artist community that's been driven out. There were some very wealthy people talking about the arts and the arts and the arts, and people who are privileged in running organizations who get money donated to them, and they can help themselves have a living to survive here and to keep moving. But they talked about how wonderful it is. But I remember several people in the PBS documentary also said we drove the artists out. Basically said we drove the artists out, and now we're trying to rekindle. But a couple of people I saw in the documentary aren't really trying to rekindle anything. I have money, and I will give money to money organizations that already have money. And I'm being very brazen because I kind of don't care. I have nothing to lose. And now, but other people are saying it out loud. The things I've been thinking, and a lot of people. I went to an event that I also wanted to tell you about, therapists on YouTube. I went to an event last night. It was Art Lab with Stephaine, who I've been working with now since February, and doing event after event after event. And it was a really hard day yesterday. And I called a friend of mine and had a long talk with her. My friend Julie, who, thank you, by the way. We raised $1,900 in 4 days, I think. She's only got $480 left to her GoFundMe campaign to reach her goal. I want it over that. There's no reason it shouldn't be over that, so we're going to keep pushing. Anyway, I called Julie, and I had a meltdown for about an hour because I'm so angry and so frustrated. And she said, go to the event, because Stephaine kept inviting me, please come, please come. So I washed my face and I put on clean clothes and I went. And I walked into the lobby. It was at Art Ovation, where I'm going to be next week, working next week. And I went to the lobby in the artist in residence area, and there were two women there, and I was looking at the art, and I ended up talking to them. And it was uplifting conversation, not in the happy positivity trope, toxic positivity way. We were talking real shit, and these are people that are big in the community and are building community. We talked about the conditions of being an artist here. But okay, I'm going to braggadocious alert right now. One of the women looked at me. They said, what's your name? And I said, I'm Beck Lane. And one of the women went, oh my God, you're Beck Lane. You're Beck Lane. And I said, yes. Sorry, I'm crying again. And our long conversation started off with her saying to me, everybody is talking about you. Everyone is talking about you. Every artist, everyone that comes in our space is talking about you and your artwork and your shows and the work that you're doing. Oh, I thought I had a towel. I've got a t-shirt. And she said, everybody has great things to say about you. And I just sat there and I started to cry again. She had more to say along those lines, but then we also, as I said, talked about the conditions of being an artist here in Sarasota. And after an hour, one of the artists went her way, and the other one, we met back upstairs on the rooftop at Stephaine's event, Art Lab. I got off the elevator. I'm so sorry. I got off the elevator and walked in. And nobody there had seen the video I made yesterday, or knows what's going on. And I was met by two women who went, oh my God, Beck, you're here, Beck Lane. One woman said to me, actually, oh my God, Beck Lane, I don't know if you remember me. And she was like, I'm so glad you're here. And the other woman was like, oh, Beck, and gave me a big hug. Now, being that I spend so much time alone, it's 16 minutes, I apologize. Being that I spend so much time alone and just having rocks dumped on me half the time, I don't think anybody knows or cares. But they followed a similar line of conversation that Barbara had with me downstairs about the work. And then I went into the event, and the rest of the night, I was treated like Tom Hanks had crashed a wedding. Not like, ugh, you're here, because everybody loves Tom Hanks. It was, these people just kept coming up to me, these people I didn't know, or people I didn't even know knew I was alive, kept coming up to me going, you're Beck Lane, you're Beck Lane. One woman at one point in the night tapped me on the shoulder and said, you're Beck Lane. And I had seen her in the elevator. We chatted for a second, but she kind of poo-pooed me, and I'm fine. I don't care. I don't need my ego lifted all the time. Like, I'm important. I said, have a good night, and you too, and went on her way. And then, towards the end of the night, I felt tap, tap, tap. And I turned around, and here's this woman from the elevator. And she said, she went like this. She literally went, oh my God, you're Beck Lane. I'm like, oh my God, you're Tom Hanks. And I said, yes. I said, yeah, we met in the elevator. She goes, everyone is talking about you. Everyone at this party or this event is talking about you and saying, I have to meet you and I have to see your artwork. So therapist, the entire night was like that. The entire night. And I saw my friend who has been vocal about this city not being an art city. And I just stood there. I've been saying the emperor has no clothes all by myself for so long. And here's somebody else who sees it. And there's somebody else who sees it. And there's somebody else who sees it. And there's somebody else that sees it. And there's somebody else that's seen it. And here's the thing. When I got here, the community was decimated. There was no community. And people told me when I moved here, artists told me, we have no cohesiveness. We have no voice. We have no money. We have no support. We have very, very, very little support at all. We have none from the city. We're leaving. People told me that over and over and over and over again. So at the event last night, I'm standing there talking to all these artists. They're younger, or like my friend, they moved here with money and they are changing things. I'm standing there and I realized I was at this fantastic event, another fantastic event by Stephaine at Grae Productions. And she had not just the usual artists showing up and networking and talking about how hard things are. It was also, she had a whole new audience of people, some of them buyers looking for artwork. I was looking at a friend of mine, Olivia, who has been trying really hard to do art events. And she said to me, actually, do you have prints? Do you have anything I can take to my next event and I will sell them for you? We will get this, we will get this sold. We have to make you some money. I'm like, oh my God. I'm looking at my friend who moved here and he's like, no, I'm working with this person, this person. We're really pulling together. We're doing stuff. I'm looking at other artists who have been working with other artists and other organizations, and they're all working together to bring fresh blood into the city and not just play on the trope that this is an art city, but actually reconstruct how this city has defined itself for the past few decades, from what I understand, when it went from an artist community and an art, whatever I said, to something that was hollow and used as window dressing. They're now trying to transform it not back into an artist colony, but actually, because that can't be done when the focus is on the $5 million condos and $35 million homes. They're building it. They're like, no, we're going to redefine things on our own, and we're not living by those rules. We're not living by the old white man with money rules, because that is exactly who is valued here. Tom Brady is valued here. Tom Brady's home that he put on the market is valued here. But the artist that this city is trying to build its reputation on has not been in a long time. So here I was standing in the middle of this event with these younger artists and some my age who are literally transforming the definition for an artist city in Sarasota, and in spite of Sarasota. So there is hope. Please hold that in your heart when you're thinking about where you are and how are you going to keep moving forward. And to end the night, I actually walked into a cabana where some artwork was hanging up because I was checking everybody out, and people were tapping on the shoulder and saying hello and blah, blah, blah. And I walked into this one last cabana, and this man on the couch sitting on the couch drinking and playing with his phone, looked up and went, oh my God, you're Beck Lane. And I said, yes. And as it turns out, he had seen my artwork because of Stephaine at a venue at Vino Bistro, and he said, I can't stop thinking about it. And so hopefully we have something sold. Last weekend we had a buyer, somebody in Sarasota, who was going to buy 2 paintings and then completely dropped off the face of the earth. And that happens literally every single weekend. But it's somebody here in Sarasota. I don't know, maybe she'll pop back up. But this one fellow was like talking to me about the painting. He totally and completely got it inside and out. And he's like, this is what I saw in it, and this is what I saw you thinking while you were painting it, and this is how it makes me feel. And he nailed it all the way down. And it was it was a beautiful way to end the night. It put an exclamation point on why I can't give up, and subsequently why you can't give up. Because, as Julie and I talked about the other night, you never know. You never know. Oh, add to that too, I had a fellow come up during this, or after this conversation or something, and introduced himself. And he's somebody who follows me on Instagram, and I followed him back, and it was once again like I was Tom Hanks crashing a wedding. And he's like, you're Beck Lane. I said, yes. And I said, your name is? And he said, Patrick. And I went, oh my God, Patrick! We follow each other on Instagram. You're Patrick. And I came up with his last name, which I can't remember now. And he was so nice. And he's like, I came here to meet you. He ended up meeting, several other friends who were so strong in the community and building the community that I'm talking about. I've illustrated here. But it ended up being a validating conversation, not just for me, but for him as well. Because we talked about the history of Sarasota and how he has moved here at just the right time. Because there are people that have decided In spite of this being sold as a postcard only, in postcard only art city, they're redefining it and making it totally fresh, totally young, totally exciting, completely exciting, instead of this flat line that we've been living in. So he moved here at just the right time, but it was so wonderful meeting him. Wonderful meeting Patrick. What a sweet man. And I look forward to working with him and going to shows of his and seeing what he does. But so that was my night, therapists on YouTube. And I know I went super long, but I hope this is slightly more inspiring and slightly more uplifting than the video I made yesterday, which I may make public again, I don't know. But I wanted to let you know where we are. And also, I'm getting ready for a show at Luxile Gallery. I've got to finish that portrait of Jordan Butel for Luxile Gallery. I'm refreshing King Femme, a portrait I did a long time ago. I'm refreshing it. I've had to fix the canvas because it had a tear in it, but I'm refreshing it and redoing it a little bit. And then I talked to Fundamentals, my graffiti artist friend Mark, who is Fundamentals on Instagram, and I'll put his link down below. He's prepping a 12-foot, I think now we think it's about 13 foot long canvas. He's getting it ready with his graffiti work, and he's delivering it Thursday night here, so I can start doing my portraits of Frida Kahlo. We'll see how far I get it. To be delivered to Art Ovation on Tuesday, and Patrick's, well, somebody's going to help me with that, I'm not sure who, but to Art Ovation on Thursday, and Tuesday, sorry, because I start working there Tuesday, and Mark will be in and out of the Art Ovation artist in residency with me there, coming in and working. I'm also asked him to please bring some of his Mark only, his Fundamentals only canvases. We're having a reception on Friday, and we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty excited about that. But having last night and having the real conversations that I've been having lately with artists, the true conversations with true artists, make my heart believe that everything will be okay, because we don't know what can happen. We don't know. All right, that's it. So I'm Beck Lane. If you're interested in buying work, the links to all the galleries are down below. If you've seen work that you like, if you want to see portfolios of work that you might be interested in, please contact me, and I'll send you to the appropriate rep. Stephaine has quite a bit right now, as does Greg. We have that big show at Love Art Repeat. But all the links are down below. All the shows as they're happening are on my website now. The link for that are down below, as well as on Instagram. But all the links will be down below. Also, if you would like to help me not lose my place to live in another way, there's also links to Cash App and PayPal. I have Zelle, Venmo, blah, blah, blah. But really, the end goal is to sell artwork. That's all I want in life. That's it. Is to take all the work that I've made and sell it. And sell it. So, that's it. Anyway, all the links are down below. Thank you for hanging in there with me, therapists. And we're going to shut this off. It's been almost 30 minutes of me yammering. There we are. All right, I wish you all the best. And let's keep hanging in there. You are not alone. You are not alone. And apparently neither am I. All right, ciao.